Hi, today I want to spend a little bit of time talking about what happens when you have trouble progressing through the five circles of influence. What are some of those problems that you can run across? So let's take a look at those five circles of influence again, and we'll talk through each of these. So, starting here at the beginning, there's self, then there's others, relationships, business, and vision. And one of the greatest obstacles that you could run across as you're trying to progress through these five circles of influence and expand your influence as a leader, one of the biggest obstacles is what happens if you don't progress into each of the next circles of influence. So it's very important that you take the time in each circle of influence to truly understand what the skills are that are in that circle of influence, to understand who is involved in each of those circles of influence. Those are some of the obstacles that you run into. And the other things are, what if you don't understand yourself and so you have trouble progressing? This is where it's really important to have some outside help to be able to take a look at what you're doing and help you figure out what those obstacles are as you move on. Take a look at any great athlete. If they're trying to go from greatest to even greater than greatest, I mean, who are the greatest athletes of all time? Pick whatever sport you want. They have a coach who works with them. That coach can observe their behaviors and can observe their progress and their performance and give them some tips about how they can improve. It takes practice to become better. That's the most important thing about progressing through the five circles of influence. If you don't take the time to progress and practice, you will not make it through the five circles of influence to become the leader that you want to be. Now, look, I'm a former teacher. I mentioned that before. I used to be a band director. And one of the things that I know as a band director is you can practice and practice and practice. And maybe you've heard the expression that practice makes perfect. A lot of music teachers like to talk about that. Well, as a music teacher, I'm here to tell you it's actually perfect practice makes perfect. If you have imperfect practice, you will still perform imperfectly. And this is where having someone to help you progress through the five circles of influence is so important. So this video was a little bit longer than I wanted to get into to talk about the obstacles of progressing through the five circles of influence. There's more to come. I'm going to talk about each of the five circles individually and some of the obstacles in each of those areas. So stay tuned for more information.